Hello students, welcome you all. My name is Parul Gupta, your computer teacher. Welcome you all. I hope you all are fine. So as you all know that students, today we will be having our worksheet collection day, right? So because of this our live class is not at all possible. That's why we again back to our this video session. Okay, so now in my last video you must have seen that we have started with our chapter 5, that is introduction to problem solving. Okay, so now in this video whatever the topics left from this chapter that I'm going to cover. So basically in this video I'm going to finish, or you can say I'm going to complete with our chapter 5. Okay children, so let's start with our today's session. First of all we're going to discuss the topics. Okay, so student, these are the topics that what I'm going to cover in this video session. The first one is pseudocode, second is verifying an algorithm, and then we're going to discuss few examples of algorithm, designing the algorithms. Okay, so let's start with our first topic, that is pseudocode. Yes, so what is pseudocode? Pseudocode is an informal way of describing the steps of a program solution without using any strict programming language. Okay, pseudocode means you can say it is an informal way of describing the steps, like in algorithm what we have discussed. We have discussed the step-by-step solution, right? But within a finite set of time. So similarly here in pseudocode, the functionality is same for solving the problem. Okay, means, or you can say the finding out the program solution. Clear? But the method here uses informal for describing the steps of program solution without using any strict programming language, syntax, or underlying technology considerations. Okay, means in pseudocode whenever you're designing the pseudocode, okay, for finding out the solution of a program, like suppose we are writing a program in Python. So if I'm telling you just write the pseudocode for this, so in that case you just, the main focus is to solve the program. Okay, at that time there's no such type of restrictions is there that you have to use such type of a syntax only, whatever has been used in programming language. Okay, so without any restriction of using the programming language syntax, like we all know, if we are using the selection or conditional statement, that time whatever the restriction is, that you have to first of all put the container element, or you can say the statement, then after colon you have to mention the next line after the indent space. So that is a such type of a syntax for defining that. But here there is no such restriction, okay, for using that syntax or various technology consideration. It is not like that. So this is basically the pseudocode. The main funda is to solve the problem, okay, or you can say the find out the solution of a program without using any syntax, without using any strict programming language. Clear? So this is our pseudocode. Next is, what are the advantages of pseudocode? Okay, like now we have discussed what is pseudocode. So now we are going to discuss about the, or you can say some advantages of pseudocode. First is, it uses a language similar to everyday English, thus it is easy to understand. Okay, means whatever the language we are using for designing the pseudocode, that is your basic English is there, so it would be very easy for you to understand. Okay, next, it highlights the sequence of instruction. Okay, whatever the instruction people have written, that it highlights that sequence. Okay, then the structure of an algorithm is clearly visible through pseudocode, that is selection and repetition blocks. Means whenever you're writing the structure, okay, of an algorithm, that is clearly visible through pseudocode. Like example, your selection and repetition block, like suppose if I'm using any selection statement, if I'm using any repetition block, so in that case it is very well visible to you. Means it is easy to understand, and you will able to get an idea that here we are using the selection statement or conditional statement, or here we are using the repetition, or you can say your looping constructor. Okay, then pseudocode can be easily modified without worrying about any dependencies. Okay, because there is no such restriction is there, or pseudocode is not dependent on any other factor or something, so it can be easily modified, okay, for a user. Then if a pseudocode have advantages, then some disadvantages are also there. So let's talk about the pseudocode disadvantages. It is not a visual tool like flowcharts, that is the disadvantage. Like in algorithm, after that we have discussed about the flowchart, and over there we have discussed that flowchart is one of the main or essential component for designing the algorithm. So it is not a visual tool like flowcharts. Okay, Then it is informal representation of an algorithm. Like in the starting only we have discussed that it is a informal way of finding the program solution without using any strict programming language. So this is also a drawback of this pseudocode. Clear? Then it can only be tested on paper. There is no program available to test it. Means you cannot write that pseudocode directly on the idle and you think that you will get. No, if you want to test it, then you have to test it on a paper only. Okay, means whatever the logic you're going to apply for for the program, that you have to check it out by your own on a paper. Means through practically you will not able to test that. Clear? Then since there is no accepted standard for pseudocode, so it varies from programmer to programmer. Of course, like there is no such restriction is there, so no such any specific syntax or standard is there. So it depends on various programmer to programmer, the one who designed the pseudocode for their particular problem. Clear? So this is again a disadvantage, because it would be very difficult for a person to understand what that programmer has actually written. Okay, because that is the logic only applied by that particular programmer. Clear? So this is also the main disadvantage of pseudo code. Okay, then we're going to discuss our next topic, that is verifying algorithm by dry run. Okay, verifying means verify करना. ठीक है? So a dry run is the process of a programmer manually working through their code to trace the value of variable. Suppose if I have written a program, okay, I have designed you can say I have written a program on a paper, and then after that I have applied the logic. Then after that I have to trace whatever the logic I have applied will so using that, am I getting the correct output or not? Okay, so there is no software involved in this. Okay, so this is basically the dry run, because what I did basically, I applied the logic of mine on the paper and I have designed the program. Okay, or you can say I have designed the code. Then after that manually I have to check whether I am getting the correct output or not. Okay, so this process is known as the dry run. अभी हम क्या कर रहे हैं, ड्राई रन कर रहे हैं, बिकॉज अभी राइट नाउ वी आर नॉट एट ऑल परफॉर्मिंग एनी ऑफ द प्रोग्राम ऑन द सॉफ्टवेयर. This is the meaning of dry run. Dry run means we are just testing the algorithm or the program whatever we have designed. Okay, so this is the the process of this. You can say this is known as verifying the algorithm. Means whatever the algorithm we have written, am I getting the correct output or not, that I need to check, because that there is no such specific software on which I can check. So this process is known as the dry run. Okay, then we're going to discuss the characteristics of a dry run. It is carried out during design, implementation, testing or maintenance. Basically this would be carried out when you are designing the algorithm, when you are implementing any logic, or if you are testing or maintenance. Okay, then it is used to identify the logic error in a code. Of course, like if you applied any wrong logic, of course you will came to know that you are not getting the correct output, so you will very well aware about where the error is. Okay, and it cannot find out the execution errors in a code. Yes, because here you are not at all using any software in which you are writing the program. After that you will see that okay, now I'm getting this error, so I need to rectify. No, in this case it is not at all possible, because right now you're not using any of the software in which you're checking the program. You're just simply typing, and then after that on a paper you're typing, and then after that you just dry run whether am I getting the correct output or not. So this is these are the characteristics of a dry run. Yes, so now I'm going to show you one example of this dry run, the code given below, and show its trace table. Means now whatever the the logic I have applied, that I need to check whether am I getting the correct output or not. Okay, first of all, num user input. Num is what? A variable, and this variable has been input by the user. Okay, this is the first line. Then count, again a variable is declared, that is count, and this 0 is the value assigned to this variable. So num count, and then after that condition has been applied. Which condition? While condition. While num is less than 500, num less than 500. Then why then is used? Because here we are not at all using any programming syntax using in programming language, because it is just basically a pseudocode. Okay, there is no such restriction of using this programming language syntax. Clear? So then after that, if number is less than 500 sorry, then number is number into 2. Then whatever the value of number is, उस number में क्या हो जाएगा? 2 multiplied हो जाएगा. Clear? देन काउंट, एंड काउंट हैज़ बीन इंक्रीमेंटेड बाय 1, पहले काउंट 0 था, फिर क्या हो जाएगा 1 हो जाएगा। देन वाइल लूप एंड हो गई, देन प्रिंट क्या कर देगा नंबर, और फिर प्रिंट क्या कर देगा काउंट। ठीक है। सो नाउ अगर यूज़र ने फर्स्ट नंबर इनपुट किया दैट इज़ 16, ठीक है, ओके, देन काउंट 0, ठीक है, देन वाइल नम इज़ लेस देन 500, एज 16 इज़ लेस देन 500, ट्रू, कंडीशन ट्रू, देन नम इज़ नम इंटू 2, तो 16 इंटू 2 हो जाएगा, दैट इज़ 32 हो गया। ठीक है, फिर काउंट में क्या हो जाएगा 0 प्लस 1, तो 1 हो गया, कंडीशन ट्रू हो गई। ठीक है, तो क्या ये यहाँ पे जाएगा, नहीं जाएगा, फिर वापस जाएगा। फिर यूज़र ने नेक्स्ट वैल्यू क्या टाइप करी, दैट इज़ 64। ठीक है, फिर काउंट यहाँ पे क्या था 1 था। ठीक है, क्योंकि काउंट को हमने यहाँ पे क्या कर दिया था, इंक्रीमेंट कर दिया था विद द 1 से। ठीक है, अब फिर कंडीशन चेक होगी, वेदर नंबर इज़ लेस देन 500, 64 इज़ लेस देन 500, अगेन कंडीशन बिकम्स ट्रू। ठीक है, तो अब नम में क्या होगा, नम इंटू 2 हो जाएगा, तो 64 इंटू 2 कितना हुआ 128। ठीक है, फिर काउंट किससे हो जाएगा, +1 से इंक्रीमेंटेड हो जाएगा। पहले काउंट की वैल्यू क्या थी 1 थी, फिर 2 हुई। ठीक है, सॉरी, फिर इसकी वैल्यू क्या होगी, क्योंकि पहले 1 थी, फिर इसमें +1 किया तो 2 हो गई। ठीक है, अब फिर वाइल लूप एंड हो गई, फिर वापस चला गया। ठीक है, फिर उसने नेक्स्ट कंडीशन डाली, फिर अब नम की वैल्यू उसने डाली 128 डाल दी। अब काउंट की वैल्यू यहाँ पे क्या थी 2 थी। ठीक है, फिर उसने देखा कि क्या वन नंबर इज़ लेस देन 500, ऑफ कोर्स 128 इज़ लेस देन 500, फिर नम इंटू 2 हो जाएगा तो 256 होगा, काउंट में काउंट +1 हो जाएगा तो 3 हो जाएगा। ठीक है, सो लाइक दिस वे योर कंडीशन बिकम्स चेक। लाइक लास्ट जैसे यूज़र ने इनपुट किया दैट इज़ 512, तो यहाँ पे मैंने अगर 512 डाला तो क्या, और यहाँ पे इज़ 512 इज़ लेस देन 500, नो, कंडीशन फॉल्स, लूप से बाहर आ जाएगा, प्रिंट नंबर कर देगा दैट इज़ 512, फिर प्रिंट क्या कर देगा काउंट कर देगा। अब काउंट जितना भी आपका इंक्रीमेंटेड हुआ था पहले, उसके बाद वो लास्ट आपका काउंट प्रिंट कर देगा दैट इज़ 5। ओके, सो दिस इज़ हाउ द ड्राई रन we can check. Clear? So basically what we are doing here, we are just verifying the algorithm whatever we have designed here. Okay, basically this is the pseudocode where in this we are not at all using the syntax used in programming language, because there is no such restriction is there while writing the pseudocode. Clear, children? Yes, students, so now we are going to discuss few more examples given in your book regarding your algorithm and flowchart. Okay, so let's have a look. First one is, the question is, draw a flowchart to find area and perimeter of a rectangle along with algorithm in simple English. Okay, so what is there in the question, that we have to find the area and perimeter of a rectangle. We all know the perimeter of a rectangle is 2 into L plus B, and the area of rectangle is L into B. Okay, so now we have to write the algorithm as well as we have to design the flowchart. Okay, so area, this area represents the area of rectangle and the perimeter represents the perimeter, means it is the way it is written. So it is defining that this area represents area and area of rectangle, and perimeter represents the perimeter. Okay, so step 1 start, step 2 input side, that is length and breadth, say L comma B. Okay, means we want two variable, that is length and breadth, so here we have declared that is L comma B. So then we have declared a variable that is area, and we have assigned the value that is L into B. Clear? Then similarly we have taken one more variable that is perimeter, and then we have assigned the value that is 2 into L plus B. Okay, then after that we have to print the command of area comma perimeter and then stop. So I think it would be very easy, and you all know what we have done in this algorithm. First we have to start, then we have declared two variable, then we have declared two variable, that is L comma B, L for length and B for breadth. Then area, again a variable declared and the value assigned is L into B, and then perimeter, again a variable is declared and we have assigned the value that is 2 into L plus B, which is the formula of parameter of rectangle. Okay, and then after that we have given the command of print area and parameter and then stop. Okay, so now this is the flow chart. Start, this is the start symbol and this is the stop symbol. Okay, then here what we are doing, we are just putting up what means we have input the values, that is L comma B, and then in this we have declared a variable that is area, that area equal to L into B, means here the processing is take place, so this symbol is related to processing, similarly this symbol is related to processing, and then this is the output because the input and output symbol must be same. So we have given the command that is print area comma parameter and then stop, and this is the flow of execution of program, this arrow marks. Okay, so this is what the answer, and this is the our flow chart, and this is our algorithm. Okay, I hope this has been clear to you. Okay, you just need to remember the symbol, because this symbol and this symbol is for start and stop, then this symbol and then this symbol. Okay, this is for input and output the value, and this two symbol is for processing. Clear, children? Then we're going to discuss our next question, that is draw a flowchart to convert temperature from Celsius to Fahrenheit along with algorithm in simple English. C temperature in Celsius and F temperature in Fahrenheit. Means we have to convert the temperature from Celsius to Fahrenheit. Okay. So the formula used means if we want to convert Fahrenheit to Celsius, then the formula is this one, and if we want to convert Fahrenheit to Celsius, then formula is this, and we want to convert Celsius to Fahrenheit, then the formula is this. And in our program the question is to convert temperature from Celsius to Fahrenheit. Okay, हम formula ये वाला use करेंगे, not the above one. Okay, so now the solution. First again start and then stop, start and then input the temperature in Celsius in variable C. So we declared a variable that is C for input the temperature in Celsius. Then in the third step we have applied the formula because we want to convert the temperature Celsius to Fahrenheit. So we have declared a variable that is F, which is for Fahrenheit, and we have assigned the value, that formula. Okay, what we have done, 9.0 divide /5.0 into C plus 32. Okay, that what we have written here. And then after that we have given the command that is print temperature in Fahrenheit, then means we have given the command of print F. Okay, and then stop. Okay, so this is what the algorithm. Simple. Okay, then comes to the flow chart. Again this is for start and stop symbol, this is for input the value, that is input value of C, and then processing. So symbol is again different, that is F equals to 9/5 into C plus 32. Okay, it's by mistake here it is written minus, then you have to mention plus 32. Clear, children? And then we have given the command of print F, because this is the symbol for input and this is for output. This is symbol for input and output, the symbol is same. And then in the last we have given the command of stop. Okay, so I think this has been clear to you, right? What we done, basically we have just declared a variable C and then F, and in F variable we have assigned the value, means formula we have put, we have mentioned, and then after that we have given the command of F, that is print F. Clear? Okay, children, so now come to next question, that is draw a flowchart to determine larger of two numbers along with algorithm in simple English. So here basically we have to put condition, means larger of two numbers, means whatever the number is greater, that we have to print. Okay, so first of all let's talk about the algorithm. First start, then input, or you can say get two numbers, that is A and B, means we have to input two numbers, that is A and B. And then in the third step we have put the condition that if A is greater than B, then print A, else print B. If the value of A is greater than B, तो किसकी value print करेगा? A. Why? Because we have to print the larger number. Okay, if this condition fails, so that means my B is greater than A, so in that case what it prints the value of B and then stop. Clear? Just keep in mind one thing, because according to the question you have to write the algorithm. We have to determine the larger of two number, means out of two number whichever is the larger, that we have to determine. So that what we have done, first start then stop, then we have a input two variable, that is A and B, and then we have put if condition, if A is greater than B, print A, else print B, and then stop. Okay, so now let's talk about the flow chart. First again start and then stop. Okay, then after that this symbol is for input the value. So here we have input read A comma B, means we have input the two variable, that is A comma B. Then after that we have applied the condition. This symbol is for putting up the condition. Please remember these symbols. If you mention the wrong symbol, then your marks will be deducted. Clear? So this symbol is for condition. So in this condition applied A greater than B. If A is greater than B, then yes, means value true, तो print हो जाएगा A. अगर if the value of a is not greater than b, that means my condition false, so here it goes. Then print the value of b, then in the end stop. So this is the flow of execution of program. Please remember, here you have put the condition. If condition true, then it flows in this direction, and if this condition fails, then it flows in this direction. Okay, and then finally it stops. Okay, so this the example in which we have discussed about the conditional statement, how we can put the condition, or how we can declare the, or you can say how we can mention in the flow chart. Okay, please remember the symbols. Clear? So with this student, I'm going to end our today's video session. Okay, so whatever the topics we have discussed, okay, in this video session, so these are the topics that what you have to go through thoroughly from this chapter. Clear? And mention each and everything in your notebook. Whatever the programs I have discussed, that also you need to mention, or you need to note it down in your notebook. Clear? And diagram you have to make with pencil. Okay,